Now, Senate Estimates is chugging away again today. In one committee, the Assistant Health Minister, Fiona Nash, is being taken uphill and down dale over conflict of interest claims against her former Chief of Staff. Now, political correspondent Mark Simpkin's been watching all morning. Mark, first of all, just what's the background?
Well, this is a curious and somewhat confusing case, Greg, that features a food labelling website that's been taken down, a Chief of Staff who's resigned, and an Assistant Health Minister who, as you say, is being grilled today by one of the Senate committees. Basically, a few weeks ago, Fiona Nash went into the Senate and said that there was absolutely no link between her then Chief of Staff and the food industry. She then subsequently had to correct that and say, well, yes, there were links between them. This has raised all sorts of conflict of interest questions, because it turns out that the Chief of Staff had some shareholdings in a directorship of a lobbying firm that lobbied for the food and soft drink industry. So all of these questions have been asked about her conflict of interest, his conflict of interest, and like a soft drink, I suppose, you apply a bit of pressure, shake it up, and things can turn a little bit messy. Let's have get a flavour, I suppose, of some of the more effervescent exchanges from estimates this morning.
They went to every length, Senator, to ensure that there could be...
Well,
no, let me finish. That there could be...
Well, you should stop misleading.
No,
you're misleading again.
If you want to ask the question, Senator,
she's misleading
you can give me the courtesy.
He didn't resign.
You can give me the courtesy.
Well, you should stop
answering the question.
You're a minister of the Crown. You should stop misleading the Senate.
I'm not misleading the Senate.
So a full court press there with Penny, Wong, and I think we also saw John Faulkner in action. Mark, is there any suggestion that the minister might herself have been skating on thin ice as far as her grip on her own job's concerned?
Well, certainly that's what Labor's chasing here. It's got the whiff of a possible ministerial scalp. Tony Abbott's shown absolutely no inclination to give them that. I don't think he will under any under the present circumstances at all. And it's fair to say that Labor hasn't exactly found a smoking gun this morning, even though Senator Nash has been somewhat less than cooperative. She maintains her Chief of Staff did absolutely nothing wrong, which of course leads to Labor's questions this morning. Well, why did he resign? Senator Nash says, well, it was becoming a distraction for the government, so he offered his resignation. That then led to questions about whether she had offered her resignation to Tony Abbott or to someone else in the Prime Minister's office. And so Senator John Faulkner had a few pointed questions about that. Let's have a listen.
Did you offer your resignation to Prime Minister Abbott?
Senator Faulkner, you are impugning that there has been wrongdoing. There has not been wrongdoing in the role of my Chief of Staff in my office.
Did you offer your resignation to Prime Minister Abbott?
I'm not going to comment on discussions I've had with the Prime Minister or the PMO, Senator.
Are you seriously saying to this committee you won't say whether if you didn't offer your resignation, just say it?
I'm not going to comment on discussions I've had with the Prime Minister or the PMO.
Fiona Nash there head-to-head with John Faulkner. Now, Mark, you did earlier mention the Prime Minister's disposition. I think someone tried to ask him earlier today at the drought assistance announcement that what was his position regarding conversations that may or may not have been held. What is his answer to that question?
Well, Fiona Nash wouldn't comment. Tony Abbott would. He said there was no such conversation between him and Senator Nash. Obviously, Labor is still going to be asking, well, OK, let's go down the chain. Were there any other conversations had between Fiona Nash and perhaps the Chief of Staff of the Prime Minister? I suspect we might hear something of that in question time.
All right, Mark Simpkin, political correspondent. We'll let you get back to estimates. Thank you.